The topic of discussion today in this module is on Earth's energy resources. All of you are aware that energy is a primary requirement for all human life. Energy is the capacity to perform work. The usage of energy by human beings dates back to several centuries. The demand for energy is increasing day by day. The planet Earth has enormous amounts of energy resources. Energy is one of the major inputs for the economic development of any country. Energy may be obtained directly from an energy source or it may be obtained indirectly. Energy is derived from one or more than one sources. The chief sources of energy are fossil fuels, running water, biomass and atomic minerals. In addition to these, solar radiation, wind movement, tidal oscillations, biochemical and geothermal sources also provide good amount of energy. The sources and use of energy by the population differ from a developed country to a developing country. It depends on the energy resources available with them. Not all continents have all the needed energy resources. Energy can be classified into several types based on the following criteria: primary and secondary energy, commercial and non-commercial energy, renewable and non-renewable energy. Renewable sources are those which will be available for our human consumption again and again. The energy derived from water as hydroelectric power, the energy derived from sun as solar energy, the energy derived from wind as wind energy and bioenergy are the renewable energy resources. Non-renewable energy sources are those which are permanently consumed for generating the energy and needs further supply. Fossil fuels like coal, oil and gas, fissionable materials for nuclear power generation and geothermal sources all come under this category. In this episode, the energy resources are discussed under the following modules: energy from fossil fuels, energy from sun and wind, energy from water, energy from biomass, energy from nuclear and other sources. Coal is the mainstay of India's energy sector and accounts for over 50% of the primary commercial energy supply in India. Around 74% of the coal produced in India is consumed in the power generation. Compared to the other sources of energy that are available in the country, the known coal resources are expected to last for over 70 years at the present levels of production. About 85% of the world's commercial energy sources come from the coal, oil and natural gas. These are called as fossil fuels since they have been developed from the fossilized remains of prehistoric plants and animals. The use of these sources depend on their availability in a country. Coal is made up of organic material which has escaped from the oxidation in the carbon cycle. It is an altered residue of plants and trees of the older forests which have been buried under sediments and they were subjected to a set of geological processes and transformations. Coal is burned to create heat and then to turn water into steam. The steam is then used to rotate the turbines which will rotate the dynamos to generate electricity. Coal is also converted into another usable form called as coke. It is a charcoal-like solid which is an essential raw material used in the production of iron and steel. Coal occurs in sedimentary basins as coal seams or layers. Coal contains some sulfur compounds. The sulfur content may vary from less than 1% to higher than 3%. Coal is mainly used in thermal power plants. While using it, the one having low sulfur will cause less air pollution. The production of thermal power depends on the ash content of the coal used. Higher the ash content, lower the efficiency of the boiler and the furnaces in the thermal power plants. The use of coal also generates much amount of solid waste and ashes. For every megawatt of energy produced by a thermal power plant, about 1 acre of land is needed to dump the waste materials including the ash. Coal based thermal plant pollutes the atmosphere by gaseous emissions of sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxide, and also they produce tremendous amount of solid waste, fly ash and bottom ash. Coal mining, transport, washing, processing, shipping, combustion and final disposal of ash may lead to the potentially adverse environmental effects like aesthetic degradation, noise pollution, dust pollution and the release of trace elements into water bodies, soil and air masses. Coal is a non-renewable form of energy, the use of which is to be done very economically. The next major source of energy comes from oil. The oil that is derived from rocks is called as petroleum. Petro means rock, oleum means oil. Petroleum furnishes about 40% of the commercial energy used in the world. It provides most of the energy used for transportation and other activities of the population. In general, petroleum and natural gas are hydrocarbons. They are fossil fuels formed from organic material which are escaped from the complete decomposition after burial in the sedimentary beds. Petroleum is a complex mixture of hydrocarbons containing nitrogen, sulfur and oxygen also. The major source for oil and gas is the fine grained organic rich sediments that are buried to a depth of 500 and more meters or below the stagnant oceanic waters. These might have experienced a thrust due to an increase in pressure and heat. The water is deficient in oxygen. Various geological and biological processes have promoted the chemical transformation of these organic materials into hydrocarbons. They tend to migrate through the porous sediments called reservoir rocks. Like coal, oil also contains some impurities that can cause air pollution, but refineries can remove many of these pollutants when they process the petroleum. Natural gas comprises several gases but mainly consists of methane. Natural gas which is produced in association with oil is called as associated gas, whereas production from a gas reservoir not associated with oil is called as non-associated gas. Natural gas is the most conventional and convenient fossil fuel. It causes little or no air pollution. Natural gas is a clean source of energy because it is refined naturally during its formation within the earth and does not require further refining. In addition, it can be compressed into a liquid and transported long distances through pipelines. Natural gas provides around 20% of the world's consumption of energy and as well as being burnt in power stations. It is used by many people to heat their homes. It is easy to transport the natural gas through pipes, and gas power stations produce comparatively little pollution. Millions of people use natural gas to heat their homes, cook their meals and dry their laundries. Typical gas consists of hydrocarbons having a very low boiling point. Methane, the first member of the paraffin series, makes up 85% of the typical natural gas composition. The following types of gas have been recognized based on their composition: dry or lean gas comprising mostly methane. Wet gas is the higher hydrocarbons. Sour gas, when containing more hydrogen sulfide, we call them as sour gas. When it contains little H2S, that is hydrogen sulfide, we call this natural gas as sweet gas. When it contains higher paraffins for extraction, then we call that gas as residue gas. When it is derived from oil wells by extraction at the surface, we call it as casing head gas. Natural gas is used for domestic and industrial applications. The consumption rating for different sectors are as follows. For manufacturing fertilizers, we use about 36% of natural gas. For power generation, we use about 27% of natural gas. For industrial sectors, we use about 8% of natural gas, and for the extraction of liquefied petroleum gas or cooking gas, the rest are used. The energy received from the sun's electromagnetic radiation is called as the solar energy. It is also used to produce electric power. It is a non-conventional and continuously renewable energy resource and source. There are two methods through which sunlight can be converted into electrical power. They are using the photovoltaic conversion procedures or using the solar thermal conversion procedures. It is reported that the solar energy falling on the earth every 29 seconds is equivalent to the human energy requirement for the entire day. It comes from the sun and it is plentiful. The distribution is very sparse. It must be collected and concentrated to produce usable power. This requires some special devices. Hence, harnessing of solar energy is an expensive affair. A typical solar water heater consists of a coil of copper pipe braced to a blackened metal base. This assembly is covered by a transparent glass plate or a plastic sheet. The water which is passed through the coil gets heated up by the solar radiation. Very high amount of heat is trapped in this process during summer months. Solar energy is also caught to provide power using solar cells. Solar cells are the devices made from crystals of silicon to produce electricity from sunlight. They are the photovoltaic cells. Research continues on the application of solar energy for pumping up water, refrigeration, solar ponds and temperature control in buildings. Consumption by solar energy has more advantages. Some of the advantages are: they provide unlimited power supply. There is no way of producing air pollution, water pollution, thermal pollution and noise pollution due to solar energy. There is no possibility of large scale disasters coming out of using solar energy. It conserves Earth's natural resources, and the technology is available for immediate usage. The major disadvantage is the expenditure involved in establishing the solar plants. Solar cells are more expensive also. They cannot be completely be able to replace the conventional fuel usage, because the society has to bear the cost of establishing the solar panels. The next one is the wind energy. Wind is a dynamic natural force for providing power. It is the best renewable energy source available on earth. Wind energy can be harnessed very effectively. The blow of wind is allowed to rotate the blades of a windmill that is coupled to a turbine. This drives a power generator and we get electricity. There are some merits and demerits while using the wind energy. The generation period is very low, that is, on an average we may get the wind energy for 5 months in a year. This is because of the seasonal availability of a reasonably useful wind. Power generation starts immediately after commissioning the plant. Power is cost free, generation is cheaper, and the recurring cost is also very less. The installation cost of a windmill is slightly heavy, and the maintenance of machinery is also expensive. But this is a pollution free and environment friendly generation of power. A wind power plant is also a source of income. A wind power generator of 200 kilowatt or 250 kilowatt generates at an average of 6 to 7 lakh units every year. So, wind energy is the most promising source of energy on the planet Earth. Biogas is the methane gas produced or released from the organic waste like sewage, garbage, manure or crop residues. These are decomposed substances in the absence of water. This is similar to the natural gas in origin. Biogas can be collected using a container filled with the waste and closed at the top with a tap for trapping the gas. The wastes are mostly animal excreta or dungs which are allowed to decay and decompose naturally inside the container. After producing the gas, the used up materials can be used as a high quality organic manure in the croplands. Community biogas plants, industrial biogas plants, night soil biogas plants, family size biogas plants and improved chullas are some of the bioenergy sources employed and are under operational conditions in several parts of the world. Biomass fuel is the common name given to all forms of fuel generating organic remains. These organic matter can be burned directly or indirectly as a fuel. A well known popular biomass is the fuel wood. Wood was used as a major source of energy in several parts of the world for several centuries. Firewood is the best known biomass fuel. Cow dung or cattle dung is burnt for cooking purposes in several villages. The distillation of biomass is done to produce alcohol for fuel. There are three major sources as forest products, unused agricultural products and urban waste which are used as biomass for producing energy. The main advantage is that the biomass under several conditions can be recycled. The main disadvantage is the requirement of an energy for processing the biomass into a convenient form of energy. Biomass energy is available locally. That is an advantage. In many places you might have seen the sugarcane farms and sugar production plants, they use the straw and dust again and again for using it as a fuel. The main disadvantage is that the consumption of biomass fuel can produce air pollution. They also produce smokes, ashes and sometimes degrade the land areas. The next one is the energy from waste. Waste is a fuel consisting of many materials. Wastes are generated from combustible processes, industrial processes, institutional processes, hospitals and household waste. Many of them contain rubber, plastics, waste fossil oils and other similar commodities. It is either solid or liquid in form, renewable or non-renewable in form, biodegradable or non-biodegradable in form. Solid biomass is one of the largest renewable energy sources. It represents more than 10% of the world total primary energy supply or 3/4 of the global renewable energy supply. Anaerobic digestion uses microorganisms to break down the biodegradable waste for producing a biogas consisting of methane, carbon dioxide and other trace gases. Anaerobic digestion has typically been used as part of an integrated waste management scheme at landfill sites in several places. It is suitable and it can be used in several places for producing energy. Plasma gasification is the waste processing method of choice for waste to energy methodology. Compared to conventional incineration methods, plasma gasification method produces less ash, tar and pollutant gases. After cleanup, the syngas can be fed into the internal combustion engines to produce electricity. But in future we will be using more fuel cells which will be helpful for meeting our energy requirements. human civilization has always rested on the access to water and relied heavily on the utilization of water. Water is used in energy production and supply, and in turn energy is used once again for pumping, moving and treating water. In recent decades, the combination of more users with more use of water has transformed the traditional water energy ladder into an escalator form. So, in those days we were slowly using the water, now we are using more. As a result, as the linkages between both energy and water systems have grown more complex and interdependent, we are facing a lot of problems today. Now, water must be viewed as a complex vulnerability of the energy system and vice versa also. Water is needed throughout the energy sector. It is used in energy production and also conversion, as well as in other processes such as the refining of energy source products. Water for energy and energy for water are the two issues of concern today. Hydroelectric power generation is one of the major sources of energy over the entire globe for several decades. Hydel power furnishes about 7% of the world's commercial energy sources. Water costs nothing, but it cannot be used up very easily, but it supplies energy without pollution. However, hydroelectric power projects require at least a dam or a reservoir, which are very expensive. A hydroelectric power plant can operate only where water flows from a higher altitude to a lower altitude. In several hilly and mountainous regions, establishment of hydroelectric power plants on perennial rivers has contributed the major electricity production in many countries. Hydropower is a renewable energy source. Historically, water wheels were used to generate mechanical energy to run the mills and machineries. Hydel power is a clean power. It requires no burning of any fuel. These power generators do not pollute the atmosphere or the hydrosphere. Hydroelectric power is also combined with thermal power plants. That is one added advantage. With this combination, the thermal power plants can supply power if the hydroelectric power plant is affected by severe drought. The next one is the tidal power. Ocean waves are a huge and largely available energy resource all over the world. The global potential for extracting energy from oceanic waves is substantial and also considerable. Sea waves offer the highest energy density among renewable energy sources all over the world. Tides and waves can generate enormous energy for consumption. The tides, which are dashing against the shores continuously, can generate the tidal power. This can be obtained by using a tidal dam built with the turbine. This is more expensive when compared to the hydroelectric power installations, but in high tide zones such provisions help in harnessing this power. There is also a limitation that it can produce electricity only at certain times of a year. Nuclear energy production involves the fission or splitting of uranium atoms. When an atom splits, a small portion of its mass is converted into energy and the remainder is converted into heat. Under right conditions, it can set off a chain reaction that splits other atoms. Commercial production of nuclear energy maintains a controlled chain reaction within the reactor of a power plant, and it converts the heat released by the atoms to steam engines and uses the steam to generate electricity through dynamos or turbines. The energy produced from splitting atoms is far greater than the energy produced from combustion of the same amount of matter. So, the production of nuclear energy requires less land and fewer materials. It generates less waste than production of energy from the burning of fossil fuels. Many of the environmentally conscious countries in the world depend on the nuclear power for their electricity generation. At present, about 17% of the world's electricity is generated through nuclear sources. Nuclear source is very clean and it is compact and it is concentrated. A nuclear reactor requires a fuel substance whose nuclei can undergo fission. Such substances are called fissionable substances. Uranium 235 and plutonium 239 are the widely used nuclear fuels. In addition to the fuel, reactors also require neutrons. These are the stimulators for chain reactions. Safety, design and operation of reactors depend on the way by which these neutrons are managed inside the reactors. Nuclear reactors are classified based on the fuel, based on the coolant and the moderator used to support the nuclear chain reaction. The natural concentration of uranium in the Earth's crust is about 2 ppm. Uranium originates in magma. It is concentrated to about 4 ppm in granitic rocks, pegmatites and other rocks. They occur in a large number of minerals. They are called as rare earth minerals or radioactive minerals or atomic minerals. They contain uranium or thorium as an essential part of their chemical composition. Some of them are oxides and some of them are complex oxides. The disposal of nuclear waste, some radioactive liquids, gases will affect the environment very severely. The next important energy source is the geothermal energy. This refers to the heat energy emanating from the Earth's interior, which could be used for heating or for generating electricity. The production of geothermal energy can occur only in areas where hot rocks lie below the Earth's surface. Iceland, Italy, Japan, Philippines, New Zealand and the United States have developed a lot of geothermal power plants. The method is simple by installing a pipe into the wells drilled over these regions for tapping the geothermal energy sources and connect these pipelines to the turbines or the laboratories. Energy is needed for the present and future generations. Earth has various sources of energy. The non-renewable energy depletes very quickly due to the pressure of population. Harnessing the renewable energy is the prerequisite for our future survival. Energy saved is the energy produced is a common slogan of the modern society. Let us save the energy and use it appropriately.